Hi there, coming to you today from my hotel room in Montreal, where I have a little downtime before I have a talk tonight about my biography of Fethullah Gulen. Looking forward to that. And then tomorrow in Ottawa, and Wednesday in Toronto, Thursday in Waterloo, and then home for church for the weekend. Looking forward to it all. Hey, thanks for some great papers on Lema Bowie's Mighty Be Your Powers and the film Pray the Devil Back to Hell. Really pleased with the work that you did. I've taught this book probably a dozen times over the last 5 or 6 years, and this was the best batch of papers I've ever received. So some really fabulous responses. A couple names to commend and recommend in particular. Kim Upshaw and Devin Gale wrote truly fabulous papers on this. Check those two out if you have a chance. Reflecting on the text and the film and incorporating the text and the insights and practices of Lema Bowie in their own ministries and contexts as well. So two fine papers by Kim and Devin. Thank you. For different perspectives, but still rich with insight, both Jason Hartnett and Kurt Nielsen reflected on reading Lema Bowie in light of their experience in the U.S. military. Again, some just great insights and perspectives brought to bear on what it means to be a public theologian in such trying circumstances as Ms. Bowie experienced and as we experience in the streets and under the systems of empire here in the United States as well. And then finally, Emily Orner and Aidan Petrone, two really good papers as well. Again, integrating, summarizing, and applying the insights from Lema Bowie's life and work in their own vision of being a public theologian. Three quick questions for your ongoing consideration. The first one is, what do dreams have to do with public theology? What do dreams have to do with public theology? Wouldn't ordinarily be something that we would connect to the work of to the work of a public theologian. And yet, clearly, for Lema Bowie, dream work was important work to prepare her to hear where God was calling her. Secondly, note that in effect, the kind of interfaith work that she was doing was universalist in practice. That is, it didn't draw boundaries between us and them, between the saved and the unsaved. And that distinction, unconsciously, more often than not, produces all kinds of obstacles to engagement in interfaith work in one fashion or another. In other words, the conviction that somehow or another we can only work with other Christians. Nobody says that quite, well, that's not true. A lot of people say that quite explicitly. And for many others, the fear of universalism, that is, that God really wills to and will save all people, is an impediment to engaging in interreligious dialogue and interreligious work. And finally, it's perhaps a bit self-serving, but lift up the importance of education in her life and work. She did some really hard work under extraordinary circumstances in studying to be a social worker, in listening to people on the grassroots. Many of you picked that up in a really helpful way. And then in studying theology and the practical nonviolent community organizing. So these are all skills at least tangentially connected to what we'll be doing in this course. And I urge you to seek out, insofar as you are able, other opportunities to learn not only systematic theology, scripture, preaching, and so forth, but also some of those quote unquote secular skills that can be of extraordinary value in sacred service. So thanks for a great week of work, and look forward to talking with you next week and seeing you in Gettysburg in just a few short weeks now. So take care.